AI is everywhere. AI tools, workflows, prompts, and tutorials to help you automate your entire life with AI are flooding the internet. Everyone wants to automate their entire business and life with AI and teaching you to do so. And I'm gonna be honest, I'm part of it. I write about how to create content with AI, I design workflows for creators, and I use it every day. So I don't blame the people who are using it and writing about it. But I'm also aware of all the potential dangers of using AI. And that's why in today's video, I want to show you why building a second brain is the ultimate moat in the AI age and why it's the most crucial practice you can have as a creator. But before we dive into this, let's recap first the dangers of AI usage. So, the first danger is the dependency trap. The Laborit law, named after the French neurobiologist Henri Laborit, states that as humans, we have an innate tendency to instinctively avoid stress and pain and prioritize tasks that require the least amount of time and energy to complete. We prioritize the easy and postpone the hard for later. And this law is also known as the principle of least effort. And this desire for instant gratification can lead us to become very dependent on AI usage. Because of course, thinking is hard, writing is hard. There is a lot of resistance that comes with it. And if it wasn't, Steven Pressfield would never have had such massive success with his book The War of Art, which is about overcoming the creative resistance. And the thing is, AI instantly bypasses this resistance. With a simple prompt, you can generate entire essays, YouTube scripts, newsletters, and notes and manage your entire content creation with it. Even though if you really want the output to be good, you will need a bit more than a simple prompt, but you get the idea. The problem is that there is value in overcoming this resistance and facing the creative process head-on, even though it's painful, which leads us to the second danger. If you're thinking without writing, you only think you are thinking. And I love this quote from Leslie Lamport because it really describes how writing is not the process of transcribing already recorded thought, but actually the process of developing those thoughts. And when you're writing, you are developing parts of yourself. And this growth is invaluable. And if you're a content creator, you probably started for this very reason, for this growth process, whether you consciously realized it or not. But when using AI, we aren't going through this process of self-reflection and we miss the benefits in clarity, perspective, insights, and creativity that writing brings. And this transitions perfectly into the third danger, which is what technology amplifies, it atrophies. And people stop learning arithmetic because of the invasion of calculators. We stop remembering other people's phone numbers now that we have all of our contacts in our phone. And social media was made to make us more social and connected, yet we are more lonely and divided as a species. And we don't even know how to use a map and find our way without Google Maps. And the number of time I've used Google Maps just to find a bakery that is 500 meters away from me is way too much that I would like to admit. But the thing is, by using technology, we delegate the execution, leading us to forget how to do things ourselves. So is it good or bad? And the truth is, I don't know. But as Alfred North Whitehead said, civilization advances by extending the number of important operations which we can perform without thinking about them. And that's how we evolved as a species, for better or worse. And the point is, what AI amplifies and thus atrophies is cognition. It's your own ability to think. And a recent research paper from Microsoft demonstrated that. This study by Microsoft Research and Carnegie Mellon University explored how generative AI tools affect critical thinking among knowledge workers. Using a survey of 319 professionals and analyzing 936 real-world Gen AI-assisted work tasks, the research examined both the perceived effort required for critical thinking and the influence of confidence, both in oneself and in AI, on these cognitive processes. Knowledge workers reported that Gen AI tools generally reduce the cognitive effort required for critical thinking, especially for tasks such as information retrieval and content creation. And while Gen AI automates routine aspects of works, users increasingly focus on verifying, integrating, and overseeing AI-generated outputs rather than generating content or solutions from scratch. And they also found out that higher confidence in the capabilities of Gen AI is associated with a reduction in critical thinking engagements. So the workers who trust AI more tend to scrutinize its outputs less, leading to potential over-reliance and diminished independent problem solving. Conversely, individuals with higher self-confidence in their own skills are more likely to critically engage with AI outputs, investing additional effort in verification and integration. For example, if you're a coder, of course, when you will have code generated by AI, you will scrutinize the code and find if it's good or not. But me, when I'm trying to create my own server to host my own NA10 workflows and automations, I don't know anything about coding, so when the AI gives me code to put in the terminal, I just trust it blindly because I don't know better. And the same can be observed with writing. If you don't know anything about writing and you've never wrote before, you won't be able to scrutinize and criticize the writing the AI produces. And the study observed a shift in cognitive effort from active problem solving to the stewardship of AI outputs, verifying accuracy, integrating responses, and ensuring alignment with task requirements. And motivators for critical thinking include improving work quality, avoiding negative outcomes, and developing skills. And the barriers include the time pressure, the lack of awareness, and difficulty improving AI responses in unfamiliar domains. So while Gen AI tools increase efficiency, they also risk reducing hands-on cognitive engagement, especially for routine or low-stakes tasks. And over-reliance on AI may erode independent critical thinking skill and leads to digital amnesia, the tendency to forget information that is easily accessible via technology. And you know what further demonstrates this? Is that this whole study summary that you just heard was just copy-pasted from Perplexity that created this for me from the original study. Because let's be honest, I haven't read the original study. Who has time for that? That's the real question. But still, this perfectly proves the point. So now the AI dangers for our cognition and thinking are real, and the impact is already there. But does that mean we should stop using AI? And the truth is, I don't think so. But with great powers come great responsibilities, and that's why I believe we need to make sure we have practices in place that prevent the decay of our brain, which leads us to the main idea of this video: why building a second brain is the ultimate moat in the AI age. So, the evolution in technology led us to have a more sedentary lifestyle, which created its own set of problems. And now, if you're not going to the gym or having some kind of physical routine in your life, you will very quickly face health issues because it isn't built in our modern lifestyle anymore. And while physical activity was naturally integrated in our daily lives, we now need to create dedicated routines to make sure we still have enough activity to maintain our health. And now it's exactly the same for our brain. As AI will automate some aspects of our thinking, we need to create dedicated practices to make sure we maintain and improve our brain capacity, which is where your second brain comes into play. So first things first, let's define what's a second brain. And to put it simply, it's a place where you gather your notes, thoughts, and writings. I personally use Kortex app that you're seeing right now. This document is created in Kortex app, and I use it to manage my entire second brain system because first, the UI and UX is slick. You can create folders with docs like in Notion. So if I open the sidebar here, as you will see, you will have all of the different documents and folders here with notes. So as you can see, I've organized everything. Here I have my para folders with projects, areas, resources, archives, and I have my Mind Galaxy folder, which is for my Zettelkasten, which we'll see a bit later. So you can create folders with docs like in Notion, you can create links between documents like in Obsidian, and you can sync it with Readwise and have access to all of your highlights, which is very cool. So here I have the library that is just here, and if I open the library in a pane, you will see I have all of my highlights from all of the books and all of the articles and podcasts that I've listened. So I will also talk more about that later in this video. Then you also have the capture feature, which allows you to note down any ID or thought inside a dedicated chat, useful for later reference. You can open it with Command D on your Mac or set up a shortcut on your phone. And here, as you can see, if I open capture, here you will have a dedicated chat with all of the different IDs and thoughts that I have opened. So here I have the different things, and as you can see here I have different things that I've saved and IDs that I had that I linked to the tweets. So next time I want to write tweets and notes for Substacks, I just open capture and I already have a lot of IDs that I wrote down and that I saved while being at the gym or taking a walk or things like that. So capture is a very critical feature. And finally, you have access to all AI models in one chat and have the ability to reference all of your documents in your chat to give context to the AI, which is a game changer. So here, if I open chat, That's the same thing as capture, but with AI models here. And as you can see, I can click there and I have all of the different AI models. I can search on the web, and if I click on add contest, I can add any document that I've created to my chat, and now the AI will have it as context. So if you don't use Kortex, you can try it out for free. The link is in the description. And now let's move on. So now, more than the second brain itself, the keyword here is building, because it's the act of building the second brain that's really important, more than having one. And by building, I mean having deliberate practices for creating note and content, which means having a routine and dedicated time block in your schedule for both of these activities. Having the dedicated practices in place is the equivalent of, and I'm already sorry for the overused analogy, but it's the equivalent of going to the gym for your mind. In a world where AI can think and create for you, these practices serve as the ultimate moat to protect your critical thinking, creativity, and ability to make connections. And I also think it's the ultimate competitive advantage against other creators. As more people become over-reliant on AI, you make sure you are fortifying your mind against entropy and creating solid foundations for your philosophy while you're building your second brain. And I also believe that as cognition is being replaced by AI, the number one edge creators will have is their authenticity and unique perspective. The combination of your personal story, sensibility, taste, and spatial worldview is what will make you unique and valuable in a world where the value of information is zero. So having dedicated practices for both note-taking and writing is the key to developing your unique perspective and philosophy, as we've seen previously with Leslie's quote. And finally, when you're using AI to delegate some tasks to free up time and resources for other activities, you can actually feed the AI with your own thoughts, notes, and writing that are the reflection of your soul and thinking. And if the AI is fed on your own context, then it becomes an amazing tool for repurposing your message without sacrificing your authenticity and unique voice, which is the main philosophy behind all the systems and workflows I create with AI and that I show you on this channel and with my content. So as always, the goal is amplification and not replacement. Because I don't think using AI is bad, because the truth is being a creator is hard. Contrary to what people want you to believe, it isn't just about creating content. It's also creating products, delivering to clients, managing administrative tasks, networking with people, and dozens of other stuff that takes a lot of time. All of these tasks are necessary to build a profitable business, because the goal isn't just to create content for the sake of it, but to achieve purpose and profit with your creator business. But it can quickly get overwhelming, especially when you aren't full-time working on it yet. And in that case, using AI to strategically invest your energy where you have the most leverage, for example, creating products, while being able to maintain consistency in other areas like content creation, is amazing. Because before, you needed entire teams of people to repurpose your content and assist you with all of your tasks. Now you have access to it for $20 per month, so not leveraging it will be folly. But you need to be strategic, and you need to develop the discernment to know when to use it and when not to use it. And you need to be honest with yourself when you are over relying on AI, because as humans, we are amazing at lying to ourselves. So try to regularly review your AI usage and evaluate if you are using it to assist you and amplify you, or if you are starting to be a prompt engineer spending more time behind AI chats than writing. So now, how to actually build your second brain so you can develop your thinking, refine your unique perspectives, and develop an intellectual edge in the AI age. So, the 3-step process to build your second brain. And the first step is the learning routine, because the first step to creating is consuming. And of course, I'm not talking about mindlessly scrolling, but intentional learning. So I personally use a combination of tools to maximize my learning inputs throughout the week. So first, I have a Kindle to read books and analyze paragraphs. Then I have Snipes to listen to podcasts and save snippets. And then I have Reader to save articles and newsletters and highlight them. So all of these apps are synced with Reader, which is then synced to my Kortex library as I just showed you. So this way, every highlight from any content I'm consuming is directly available inside my second brain for future reference. So I have an entire YouTube video on this that shows the entire system, so you can click here to check it out on your screen. It should be appearing right now. Then we have the second step, which is the Zettelkasten method. And this step is about taking notes. And the best way to take them is, of course, the Zettelkasten method. So this method consists of 4 key steps. The first thing is creating fleeting notes. And basically, your fleeting notes are your highlights from the learning routine from the step 1 just here. So it's all of your highlights in your library from your podcast notes, from the Kindle paragraphs and the different articles and newsletters that you've read in Reader. And then we have fleeting notes. Then we're going to turn those fleeting notes into literature notes. So literature notes are documents that serve to summarize the main big ideas of a content with our own words. And please don't use AI for this step for God's sake, because that's actually the process of rewriting the ideas by yourself that will actually ingrain them in your brain and make you actually learn them. The third step is extracting the key big ideas from your literature notes into permanent notes. So basically, permanent notes are notes that summarize one big idea, again written with your own words. And the last step is connecting the permanent notes together by linking related concepts and finding unexpected connections that stimulate your creativity and understanding. Your permanent notes then become a living library of the best insights and key concepts you've ever come across, written with your own words and referencing unique connections that only you saw, serving as the foundation of your unique perspective. So I also have an entire video on YouTube that shows my Zettelkasten system in Kortex, so you can click here to check it out. And I will just show you a little bit right now so you can see what I mean by that. So I will just close that, and here if I close all of my documents, here you can see that my only favorite is my Mind Galaxy. And if I open it, you will see that I have hundreds of notes that are here. Each of them are permanent notes or either literature notes. So I will find a permanent note. I will, for example, take this one, the 3 possible type of content in the AI era. That's actually, a note that I could use to create a cool newsletter or YouTube videos for my brand. And here we have this idea. So the idea of this note is that basically the future of content creation will be divided by 3 types of content. We'll have high-end human culture, then we'll have mass market AI content, and then hyper-personalized media niche. And as you can see, I have this note that is linked to other notes, and here the other concept that is connected is Gresham's law, which states that buys money drives out good. So if I open Gresham's law, then I have the big idea for Gresham's law, and I can basically read it. And originally Gresham's law referred to currency, and especially when 2 forms of money with the same face value but different intrinsic value together, the money with less intrinsic value will remain in circulation, while the money with greater intrinsic value will be ordered, melted down, or exported and thus disappear from everyday transaction. So in a modern setting, Gresham's law can refer to when an inferior product dominates, pushing the superior product out of the mainstream market. And we can see this with content creation and AI creation. So that was an interesting note as well. So as you can see, those notes are linked together, making it possible to have creative ideas and find unrelated concepts, linking them and really developing those unique perspectives. And maybe I can find you a literature note that I have. So here I have my literature note on the Post-Labor Economics Lecture 1 from David Shapiro, which is very interesting. I highly recommend you to go check it out on YouTube. And as you can see here, I have my summary, which are the summary of all of the main big ideas of these first YouTube videos. And I have written this summary with my own words. And now basically all of these summaries have been translated into permanent notes that you can find here and that I've connected together. So that's the power of building your own second brain and your own Zettelkasten. And finally, the last and third step is creating content. So here it's the step where you will actually write, because now all of your learning and note-taking will leave you with dozens of ideas and cool connections to talk about. And the best part is now it's easy to write because you have all of this material that you can use as reference. And it becomes more about organizing ideas in a clear way rather than starting from scratch and facing the blank page. Actually, you will face the opposite problem, which is that you will have too many ideas and too many cool connections to write about, and you would really have to make choices in your content when writing to make sure it doesn't become overwhelming. But it's a good problem to have, So as you can see, this system is the keystone behind all of my content, because it's where I develop my thinking, refine my perspective, and develop my unique voice and philosophy that makes me unique from other creators. And when I use AI to help me in certain parts of the process, then I still produce unique outputs that no one else could have produced, because it's fed on my own content, my own notes, and my own thinking. But maintaining these practices can be hard, and I'm going to be totally transparent with you, because I often find myself stopping taking notes or writing by myself and using AI to help me. And of course, I always have a perfectly rational reason to do so. I'm building a new product, I'm focusing on a new strategy, I'm creating systems that will help me later down the line. And even though all of these reasons are true, I know that if I don't maintain these routines, my thinking will atrophy, and most importantly, I will lose the love of the craft that made me start in the first place as a creator. So I initially wanted to talk about this subject in a YouTube video, and usually for my video scripts, I go through a complete workflow that I've built that helps me craft scripts optimized for the YouTube meta, and then I turn the scripts into newsletters. And this process works pretty well, but today I thought that I wanted to write the script myself, because I found out that I haven't been writing by myself as much as I wanted to recently. And the reason is that I'm focusing on my next digital product, which ironically enough, is about all of my AI workflow. So I focused my energy on creating the modules, recording them, editing them, testing the different workflows. But recently I've started to miss the process of writing because I don't know about you, but for me, the pleasure of entering flow state while writing is the number one reason why I decided to become a full-time content creator. And as much as my nerd side loves building AI systems and workflow, nothing beats that sensation. And this video is as much a reminder for you than it is for me. As we evolve within all the digital madness and experiment with all that stuff, I thought that this perspective would serve you. So now, if you want to learn more about how to create your own AI second brain in Kortex, I highly recommend you to join Noah's Ark Bank. It's a collection of 21 plus templates, AI prompts, and SOPs that will help you implement everything we've said in this video inside Kortex, from my learning system to the Zettelkasten method, and you will even have content templates and custom AI workflow. It's totally free, and more than 820 people already joined it and started building their own second brain, so feel free to join them. If you like this video, of course, you can like, subscribe, comment your thoughts on that and your perspectives, and you can also watch the next video that is appearing on your screen right now, which is about why smart creators are ditching social media for Substack. So thank you for watching and welcome back to Noah's Ark. Bye.